Peasant Productions presents The Math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. For those of you that don't quite understand the joke about the mold I'm dealing with, I'm going to put a little clip into this. I put a little bit of commentary in the clip, I think, but I walked up to one of my lights in here in my studio, and the wire hanging down, I thought it was dust. It was mold, literally just growing on a wire hanging down on a light stand. So you'll see. Yep, and it's a working light, folks. That is actually mold growing on a lamp that I hung up there, and I haven't used it in a while. And I walk over and I'm looking at it, and I see all that, and I'm thinking, "Oh my God, are you serious?" And yes, I am 100% serious. That's how bad the mold problem. Terribly hard on the lungs, and I work in here way too many hours. But anyway, on to the better side of life. Discussing the sun cell and inventions and things of that sort. You have to understand, okay, the United States government, the world order government, the deep state government, the Illuminati, the Rosicrucians, whoever you want to blame, wherever you want to blame them. They cannot have you dreaming about freedom, okay? You don't want your slaves dreaming about freedom. You want them to feel despondent and depressed and malaligned. So, first you drop the morale of the country to its absolute minimum. You remove, as you're doing that, all of the ideas that there's something out there to reach for and go for and be a part of. And then you deal with all the various little bits and pieces you need to secure your power structure, okay? Banking, guns, arrests, who gets arrested, what happens, who gets to use what kind of laws and protections and stuff. All that gets arranged, okay? And you end up with a thorough fascist system, because you have to understand, fascism is a corporation-run government that is running for the benefit of the corporation. Okay? United States Government 101. Your government started out by building in articles of corporation, incorporating into being a United States. So yes, your governments all incorporate and become a corporation. You should be able to find the stock anywhere out there. In most cases, it's a privately owned stock. You can't just buy some. But the thing is that the government is a corporation. And I don't care which corporation you want to look at: China, Russia, England, France, Spain, USA, South America, Mexico. They're all corporations. They're out to make money. They're all to keep themselves alive. Okay. When you have, Nestle and Monsanto and Bayer and Pfeiffer and Apple and Facebook and people like that all controlling what you have access to, they all work with the government, they all leak information to the governments. They all sell out to the highest bidder type of a thing. Whoever's bidding highest on Monday wins Monday's bid. Whoever's selling highest or buying, paying the highest price on Tuesday is going to win whatever's offered on Tuesday. So It's a constant game. It's constantly being played out. And it's all directed at denying you chances of freedom. It's like Facebook limiting people who are activists only to activist stuff. Or my YouTubes, which rather interestingly are getting less and less attention when they should actually be getting just a tad bit more, because I'm having other feeds in other places show me that those numbers are all increasing as well. People, if nothing else, are curious. They're going to come see what I'm saying. Whether or not they want to believe me, their own thing. But no, I started noticing that numbers are dwindling ever so much in this direction or that direction, and all I have to do is look at the company and the policies that they have and understand what's going on and who's doing it. Out in space, you don't have that problem. You have the opposite problem. If guns and bullets and bombs are an absolute lunatic's idea of taking into space, such as life, doesn't mean there isn't usefulness some places for that. It just means that the average person who thinks you need to run into space with a whole lot of guns and bombs and missiles doesn't really know a whole lot. Doesn't understand the consequential damage to yourself to begin with. And the idea of firing off a bullet, well, where's it going to stop? Who knows? So you really don't want to shoot a bullet between here and the moon, because it's going to go from here to the moon. Or pretty darn well. Yeah, if you're above the gravity well, yeah, it would make it all the way to the moon. Probably miss the moon, because you'd have to figure out the perigee and the angles and all of that for it to get the trajectory right there for it, because it's obviously going to be traveling a very long time. But there's nothing to stop it. There's no friction, so weeks down the line, it's still going to be traveling as fast as when it left the gun. Anybody that works in space or works around space knows there's an awful lot of wrenches and nuts and bolts and oops, there went an asteroid through that small satellite of ours, and there's now 1,000 more pieces of junk floating around that are traveling at 8,000 to 11,000 miles an hour or something like that. The micrometeorite can be very deadly to a satellite if it hits the right place. Okay, so you don't want things that can just continuously punch holes through stuff. You also, if you are a government that doesn't want people, you don't want people out there in an environment that's going to breed thinking. And out there where you're on the free land, okay, I got ideas. But that doesn't mean somebody else can't have ideas too. Doesn't mean somebody else can't try something, do something, whether it's approaching me or being in competition to me. The door's wide open for everybody. I don't fear competition, and I don't fear questions. And I don't fear being challenged or looking at what things are or facing it down. And it's that type of a thing. You people are just long since washed away. You listen to the governments tell you that only military personnel are capable of handling it going into space. Excuse me? Isn't that the same thing you said only military personnel should be going out conquering the new world? And then you realized you couldn't hold the land without all the settlers, so you started shipping all the settlers and all the prisoners and everything over to literally hold the land for you once you stole it from somebody else. Yeah. Well, you get out in space, you got the same problem. People can just pick up and go somewhere else and do something else. You don't have to sit right on top of somebody. You don't have to be an arrogant SOB to them. But there's enough room and enough planets and enough places and enough things going on. It would take hundreds of years to get to mine all of the mineral wealth in just the asteroid belt. And who are you hurting? Who are you damaging? Who are you killing? At this point in time, I'm not aware of any life forms living out there. Okay, I don't pick up any generalized life form. I do pick up energy of spiritual level being out there, but yeah, think about that. So that's why I say when you're dealing with people and you're dealing with what's going on around you, you need to learn to think. And that's probably the only thing I can actually sit there and say that, yeah, it's something I'm telling you, and you really, really need to think about that thought of whether or not you need to learn to think for yourself or not. Because that might make a difference.